Veneto.
It has.
That was so cool.
Beware of aggressive birds.
It didn't
Not for
change.
kids.
Do not make yourself eat that.
It's good.
Today we're talking about Venice, which if you'll take a quick look on Instagram, Venice is the romantic Italian city with canals and gondolas. What else?
Bunch of water.
And lots of fish. It's really touristy and it can also be really expensive.
But it doesn't have to be.
We met one local,
Roberta.
who really helped us figure out how to see as much as Venice as possible
On a budget.
And so that's what we're talking about today. There are a lot of tips in here that can help you if you are going or plan to go to Venice. So keep watching.
Jinx.
Keep watching.
We're going to Venezia.
We get to the main bus station, Piazza Roma, and we have like a 10 to 15 minute walk to our Airbnb, which usually isn't much.
But, first of all, there's no cars whatsoever.
Because Venice is made up of like...
118 islands.
Love that you know that.
I taught that this year.
Oh my such a good boy.
The goodest.
And second of all, everything is cobblestone.
If you have like a rolly suitcase, you're probably just carrying them. And I'm carrying these two bags, got a backpack on, sweating like a pig. And that was really good. Finally, we find the place we're staying.
We made it to Venice.
We meet Roberta.
And we have the best Airbnb host.
Yes.
She was our host and she was
Roberta.
precious.
Roberta was the best. She has lived in Venice her entire life.
She was an expert on Venice.
Yeah.
So she walks us up to our room, shows us around.
Wow.
And then
I loved that.
pulls out this thing, which I kept and I will keep. It's a map of Venice.
The whole island.
She spent like, what, 30, 45 minutes with us?
Yeah, telling us
She-
what to do, where to go.
And so she like mapped out entire paths for us. So
Yeah.
before our trip, I kind of had a plan of, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to go here, we're going to see this. And then we met Roberta and she was like, you can do that, but here's what I think you should do.
Yeah. So we scrapped our plan.
So we scrapped everything. Roberta, we're doing what you say to do.
What a vibe. What an absolute...
Roberta told us about how so much of what they eat isn't really like you go to a restaurant, like sit down.
It's not pasta, it's not pizza, which I had that in my mind.
Yeah. But the Venetian thing is
Specialty.
Venetian
Venetian...
delight.
Ew,
Venetian delight.
that sounds weird.
Cicchetti.
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 Veneto original. I said that wrong, didn't I?
Veneto.
Veneto. Oh, say it. Veneto.
You get these little bread, like little slices
Little things
of
of bread. Mm-hmm.
and they
And
will
it's topped
put,
with different things.
yes.
But it's mostly topped with fish. Alexa loved that.
Salmon, codfish.
Some of them were like fried.
With like cheese.
They were
I also
good.
had one that was like pesto, mozzarella, and tomato, which
Yeah.
is my favorite.
Lexa got tomato mozzarella, strawberry, and ham. And then I got
Tuna with onions, anchovies.
tuna with sweet onions, anchovies.
Why? That's disgusting.
Just FYI, I normally don't like anchovies, but we're in
But
Venice, so you
you
have to
got them.
embrace it.
Because.
You-
Just because.
So we got our food and we were able to watch them make these gondolas across from the
Across the canal.
We're standing across from the only still operating place in Venice where they still make gondolas. And
Such a vibe.
sardines, flesh and all.
You look like you're about to throw up. Don't eat the rest if you don't want it.
It's an acquired
Seriously.
taste,
Do
but-
not make yourself eat that. Seriously, do not.
mean, it's good.
It was beautiful, honestly,
beautiful.
except for the birds.
PSA to everyone who comes to Venice.
Venice.
Beware of aggressive birds.
They told us to beware of the birds, that they were aggressive. Like
Yeah.
so legit.
Hit my
He almost
head.
landed on you. Oh, that scared the life out of me.
I just got hit in the head by this bird. Come at me, bro.
Wow.
Lexa got.
PTSD. The bird.
It touched your head, right?
The bird like smacked my head. I was like, what in the world? What did I do to you?
I might have a fear of birds now. Like what?
You could go to a sit-down meal and pay $20 a person, or you could go to a stand-up cicchetti place and get a bunch of these little things that will really fill you up. Also, there's lots of like gelato type spots.
Oh.
That looks good.
You want it? Let's
I don't want it.
Let's do it.
Yay.
Gelato is better than ice cream.
I have a mask on, so.
I'm taking a video of Alexa taking a video of me taking a video.
Alright. Cheers. Oh, I don't know.
Wow.
It's lighter, it's fluffier, it's
It's creamier.
creamier. So, if you're in Venice, go get cicchetti, go get gelato. Just there's a ton of stand-up spots, cafes, things like that. I went one morning to a cafe and got pastries. It was called Pasticceria Tonolo. It's from this cafe has been in Venice since the 1880s. When you're in cities, European cities, like especially for breakfast, I think cafes are the move. Bakeries are the move.
Pastries.
Go
oh my
take
gosh.
some coins, like Euro coins. I mean, all you need is like 5-6 euros in coins, and I mean that'll take you far.
Yeah.
And
That's the one thing, not one thing. That's one of the things America is missing.
Yeah.
Little bakeries, not Starbucks, but
Like
an
actual bakeries,
cafe
where they make
bakery.
things fresh, and it's affordable. It's actually very affordable.
Yeah. Another really cool place that we went to
Yeah.
that had cheap pasta was a pasta to go restaurant.
Yes, it's called Dalmoros. They've made more than one location, but it started with one man in Italy. So it's not like this big chain thing. It's one man, one family. And the guy still sits behind the counter at this place in Venice. I mean, it's this older Italian man. You know, he's not especially friendly. He's just trying to get the customers in and out because there's a line down
Yes.
the, I want to say street, but I don't think you call
It's
it
like
a street.
an alley.
So close to pasta.
Venice has these weird rules that you can't straight up like sit down in a street like cobblestone thing. You can only do it in these set squares. So you have to get your pasta and take it somewhere.
Squid ink, I know that. Pesto, basil pesto. And this is
Goodness.
like bolognese. No.
No. It's like chicken and cheese and bacon,
It's carbonara.
basically.
Don't miss this place. Dalmoros,
No,
like
it is
10
really
out of
good.
10.
We did it.
Didn't really do it. It's just too much.
We got way too much. But I would totally recommend this place.
You could have split one.
But we wanted to try all three.
I think we were like, hey, this is so cheap. Let's get 3.
If you're in Venice, highly recommend Dalmoros.
When you're in a city like this, like, just go to a cafe and hang out.
Yeah.
Like, you can go sit down, get a coffee, get an espresso, and pay 10 euros, 15 euros for like,
I don't even think it was that much.
yeah, and sit there for an hour or two, people watch, just take it easy. Like, that is a really cheap way to just really get the feel for a city.
Yeah.
We just stopped for an afternoon coffee. That's such a vibe.
It's beautiful. And there's Nutella inside. So it's awesome.
We stopped at a bakery to get water. And
Obviously, you had to get this too.
Venice is known for, I'm going to say it wrong. You say it.
Aperol Spritz.
Aperol? I always say Aperol, but that's not correct.
we're Venicing so hard right now.
We have famous Aperol Spritz.
Aperol Spritz.
And
It's
so,
like Prosecco and
soda and Aperol.
Aperol.
And they have different kinds of this spritz drink, but it's one of their aperitivos, like appetizer type drinks that they have with like cicchetti or different things. But
Yeah.
that's another thing. It's just fun to just go grab and like stand up or walk down a little street.
It's very, very good.
Oh, that's delicious. Has sangria vibes.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like a kid's juice, honestly, because it's. I didn't like it.
It's
Didn't
not for
change.
kids.
I mean, it was
Just for
it's
the
the culture.
experience.
You know, like you're experiencing their thing. Getting around in Venice is pretty easy. It really is. Like, for one, the city is so walkable. The canals and twists and turns make it a little confusing because there's no real symmetry, or like nothing feels planned. So like you're just walking down here and then there's like a wall and you're like, oh, so this is a big dead end. Or
I feel like Venice is a big maze
We've hit
Because-
so many dead ends.
and nothing makes sense.
This is what she's talking about. Okay. See this corner? Looks like, hey, might be something wrong there, right? Wrong. So wrong. So we go back. And try again.
it's pretty easy.
And also, time is not accurate
Oh yeah.
on Google Maps.
If you use Google Maps, beware.
The time that Google Maps says it will take to get somewhere
Add 15 minutes to that.
is a lie.
Like, Venice is very walkable, but there are so many canals and bridges and twists and turns. Like, it just we needed to allow extra time.
Nothing lines up.
No.
It's just someone was like,
So you
let's put a
better
path
not
here.
have any expectations coming here. And some of them just lead straight into the water. So
It's pretty easy. It really is.
Just allow so much extra time.
Allow like 10 to 15 minutes of just extra time to account for the fact that
You're going to have to turn around
Yeah.
multiple times.
it's really built up your patience.
I'm not joking.
I got so annoyed.
the
But,
truth.
I mean, it's pretty. So
And it kind of forces you to slow down.
Makes you slow down a little bit here, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like we were just here, but just looked at the other side.
Let me get the map out.
I walk or I get a water taxi, which is incredibly expensive. So we didn't go the water taxi route. Also, there's gondolas.
They only have one paddle.
That's
gondolas
like,
are overrated.
it's like 80 euros for 30 minutes on one of these things.
I would so much rather spend that money on something else.
Yeah, at 80 euros, like we're talking over 90 bucks in US dollars. Like,
Yeah.
give me that in any other way and I'll use
I'm going
it.
to pair of shoes that will last forever.
Yeah.
I'm going to pair of shoes that will last forever.
So Roberta, our host, she was like, hey, here's what you need to do. You need to get a pass on the local Vaporetto. Vaporetto? I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's like the boat service.
It's like public transportation.
You get a ticket, and you can get them for one pass or one trip or a certain number of trips. Or what we did was the 24-hour one, which I think was the move. Like,
Definitely.
if you're going for a few days, and I would plan like everything that you want to see that's at a different spot in Venice or requires getting on a boat, like try to cram that into 24 hours. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I want to say like 24 euros for the pass. So it wasn't cheap. So for the two,
That's better than $80 for a gondola.
and it's for 24 hours. So on our second day, we start our day at Piazza alla Roma, which is kind of at
It's
one part,
the train station.
yeah, at one part of the Grand Canal. And we're like, hey, we're going to ride this all the way through the whole Grand Canal, all the way to St. Mark's Square, which is like the big touristy square in Venice. We plop on the back of this thing. If you can, like, get
on
at the
the
front
back.
of the line and get at the back where it's open air.
And it's outside the boat.
I have some really quality video of Alexa just snoozing.
Listen, if you ever need to fall asleep, or if you ever need me to fall asleep, just
Yeah.
put me on something moving.
Yeah.
It was so peaceful. But Joshua was upset because I didn't see the city,
I-
but I loved it.
Lex was awake for a good portion and then also asleep for a good portion. Even I kind of got drowsy at one point because it is like the whole time it's humming.
It's like you're at the ocean.
Yeah, it is.
You have white noise, you have the waves.
And the scenery was just beautiful.
Moving.
I think we were on it for like an hour or so.
Yeah.
Another pro tip is if, say, you still really want to get the standard Instagrammable picture of you on a gondola. Alexa found this bookstore.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Libreria Acqua Alta.
Yeah.
I just butchered that. They have like this random stack of books you can take a picture on.
Yeah, you walk on it.
Standing on a stack of books.
What in the world?
And it was just a really cool bookstore.
Very unique.
On the back side of it, they have a gondola.
A gondola.
A gondola that you can sit in just for a second and I guess take a picture.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
Here you can see we still got our picture. So, pro tip, use the public transit to get around or walk and then go to this bookstore so you can still get your picture in a canal on a gondola.
Which we didn't even know they had the gondola thing.
No, we didn't.
I just wanted to go to the
We
bookstore.
wanted to go to the bookstore and then we found out they had the gondola. So it was like a 2-for-1. The Rialto Bridge, this big bridge with a market on top over the Grand Canal. It's one of the few bridges over the Grand Canal. You can get in a gondola and ride it for €2 across the canal, back and forth. If you want to get a cheap gondola experience without breaking the bank, pay €2, cross, pay €2 again, cross. Or you could just walk over the bridge. So I'm not going to butcher my Italian here, but there's a lot of different outlooks where you can see the city. We went to one, it's really well known. It was like an Orson Welles movie, had the spiral staircase.
We're climbing some steps now. So this ledge definitely doesn't meet fire code because it's just like, oh gosh. That's a little much.
But it was a really cool place, but I don't know
Overpriced.
if I would go there again.
And the view was like, I think it was like €15.
Yeah.
And
it was
after we
not
did that, we were
worth
like,
it.
yikes.
We made it.
Avoid that. Instead, take the ACTV over to the Isola, it's San Giorgio Maggiore. I'll put the words.
We're on the island of San Giorgio.
San Giorgio.
San Giorgio.
Magione.
But that was really cool. It has.
That was so cool.
It really was.
Yes.
You don't realize it's a big church. There was a maze. They had some like sailboats out there. That was
But you
wonderful.
can go up in this huge tower and it overlooks all of Venice. It overlooks the big square.
Wow. You could go up in the Campanile there in St. Mark's Square. But I think it was even cooler being across the canal and seeing that from a distance. It was really beautiful.
This tower fell in 1767 and it was rebuilt in 1790. And now we're on it today. And that just scared me to death. Lex, how'd that bell get you?
Jumped so high. Oh my word.
There was
That's
a cool
where we
cafe.
had our coffee.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Just the pace of stopping and talking.
It was good.
Go drink an espresso.
Or a latte. Lattes are better.
There were fewer humans over there, which made it kind of nice. It kind of felt a little more private and local as compared to like tourists everywhere. It's just kind of picturesque, you know? When it comes to the sights to see in Venice, I don't think you have to break the bank. Go to the big touristy area, in San Marco, see St. Mark's Square, see all the bougie shops.
Flat.
Welcome to Doggy's Palace. Doggy's Palace.
Doggy's house. I like that better than Doji. Man, it would really be beautiful. Stuff on the front.
Tell us how you feel. Really feel. I meant to say tell us how you
Still
really
is
feel.
beautiful. Really? Hey, construction. Always construction.
There's the church, the St. Mark's Basilica, which we went in, which Alexa didn't love.
No, I think that one is pretty, but Europe just has a lot of old churches, and they
Yeah,
all
it
seem
does.
the same to me.
It does.
Except that one was really pretty inside. It had gold ceilings everywhere, and
But I would also encourage you, get away from that. We also enjoyed Cannaregio. It's an old Jewish ghetto, but it's just like a locals area, and it was kind of neat to walk through.
Oh, and this grandpa just playing with his granddaughter. Thank you.
You can use your ACTV pass for that 24-hour pass we were talking about to go to Murano and Burano. Burano.
we went to Burano,
It's supposed to be like the most colorful town in the world.
and it is. I mean, it's
It's
super
beautiful.
colorful.
We just sat on the ferry for 40 minutes and now we are freezing.
I'm shivering.
But we're in the colorful town of Burano. I guess it's not a town. Is it a town?
It's an island.
Part of Venice. One of the Venetian islands. Hey Lex, we should hop on one of these and take it out.
Yeah, that's gonna work.
I know people live here, but it's incredibly quiet.
It is. Oh, this purple house. Oh, Lord. So beautiful. It's just like a rainbow of a town.
This is absolutely beautiful.
This is so pretty.
We're in a rainbow.
This is beautiful, and we're freezing.
Yeah.
Check it out. Check it out. You got a duck. Ready?
It's too cold. It's supposed to be springtime.
So does everyone have a boat here?
That's their call.
So we went to Burano later in the day,
Yeah.
and that was
No.
not a good decision.
Not the time.
We'll be going back in the sunset. Just thought it was pretty.
Lex
Well-
is looking for the positives.
Burano's just, no one's here.
It's absolutely beautiful, but
Like
also
sometimes I like
completely empty.
having things to myself. But when you don't know anyone, you don't know the language, I just feel like I don't belong here.
So I was reading about Burano and planning this, and the reviews I saw recommended to come in the morning because it got more crowded throughout the day, and to come in the morning to avoid the crowds. I didn't see anywhere it mentioned that everyone leaves at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So
It's not fun.
yeah,
I don't think I would want to come in the morning.
it kind of feels like a cruise ship town where the tourists pile in and it's
Yeah.
bumping, and then at the end of the day it's just the people that live here. It's cool to walk the streets though. It's so beautiful.
It is. That's all it's got going, honestly.
All the shops
No
were
one
closed. I could probably count on one hand the restaurants that were still open.
Yeah.
It was cool, and then I felt like the people that were still there, you could tell were locals. But it was also eerie.
And we went to the most colorful house.
Yeah, it's called Beppy's House.
Yeah.
Our host, Roberta, really recommended there's a place called Frito Misto, which is known for fried fish. If you look them up on Google, they have terrible reviews. But she said that the locals love it. It's really cheap, and you can get some fried fish. So we didn't go there. It was actually closed, like everything else on the island.
One thing that we love to do when traveling, or we found that we love to do,
Yeah.
is going to thrift shops.
It's really cool to see the local brands and the local stuff.
We just stumbled upon the coolest thrift store in the world.
Like, Jesus, pop. stickers.
Ah.
I feel like those are very old. You see things that you wouldn't normally see here, I feel like.
Yeah. The last thing we're talking about is where to stay. I know anywhere near San Marco and St. Mark's Square is going to cost more.
Yeah.
It's going to be more touristy. For us, we loved getting a little further out. We were in Torsuduro. I think I'm saying that right. But the Airbnb, it was over a small canal.
Yeah, it was really cute.
And we were right by the university. If you're open to getting a little bit out of your comfort zone, like look at an Airbnb, stay in a local area, and just walk to get to all the touristy spots. And you'll also get like a better feel, I feel like, of the area.
Definitely.
We're not sponsored, but looking at Airbnbs and seeing hosts there that like have good reviews and are locals to the area, like that's the move.
Yeah, and talk to your Airbnb host.
Yeah,
Ask them.
send them messages. We've had great results from just messaging them and saying, what do you recommend we do?
Yeah.
A highlight for us when we were in Venice was meeting up with one of our friends from high school.
Bruno.
He studied abroad, kinda, in the U.S.
Bruno came all the way from Milano to be with us, and his friend Matteo, who lives here, has been hosting him and just honestly been such a good host to us too. They've been so kind to give us recommendations and treat us to dinner.
Twice.
There's another bell, yeah, twice. So we got some goods tonight, small tokens to thank these guys.
Yeah.
We're pumped.
His name is Bruno. He came all the way from Milan. He took the train over to Venice, hung out with us, and he and his friend Matteo, who's studying there in Venice, they just really made it special for us.
Yeah.
Full tour with Bruno. Ciao.
We got to eat cicchetti with them. They even made pasta for us.
Oh, they were so welcoming.
That was like the bomb. Like, you can't top that.
Yeah.
Ciao from Italy. Ciao.
Venice was really fun. Would you go back?
In a while.
Yeah. I'd want to see more of Italy first, but I would go back.
So Venice is not exactly like what we expected, but
No. But
I love
it's
it.
a nice surprise.
Yeah, it really has been.
It was different than we thought it would be.
Yeah.
When it comes to the food, was a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Like,
that I
we
had
were
wrong in my head.
expecting stereotypical American Italian food. And yeah, it's there, but
Yeah.
more of the Venetian cuisine is like fish. It's cicchetti. It's more fish-based, which we were like, oh, it makes sense. It's right on the water,
Yeah.
but that's not what we were expecting. So,
And what's authentic here is
Fish. Which
fish, fresh fish,
is
fried
wonderful
fish,
for me, if you know me.
raw fish on top of bread and other things. It's just funny. It's ironic.
Why are you gonna ruin bread like that?
it was kind of discouraging almost to see the difference from like the touristy area to the local area. Like, you go from having 5-star hotels and bougie designer shops to then local areas that just feel almost deserted. And talking to Matteo, the friend we met there, he was telling us about how so many apartments there are empty. The population's very old because apart from tourism, there's not a lot to do. There's not a lot of businesses going to Venice.
Yeah.
So it was kind of sad. And then, like, on our last night, we were in St. Mark's Square.
And it flooded. Well,
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah, but because of the tides, the water was like coming up in the square.
And Piazza San Marco is getting flooded again.
These islands are built on the lagoon, and the water is coming up, and then you have like these crazy stories like cruise ships that have come in, and thankfully since like 2021 I think are banned, but
Yeah.
flood the city. Like on our last night, as we're going back to our Airbnb, like we're walking on the path, and the canal, I'm talking like 2-3 inches, the water was just 2 to 3 inches below where we're walking.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
crazy.
you think, I mean, if a boat comes through, if there's much of a tide, that's
It's going to go on the...
flooding the pathway.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh
It's crazy
man.
to see.
A lot of the apartments, the bottom floor was rotted, like the doors was rotted.
First floor's flooded. Third floor is bougie. Wow. I don't know if it's climate change or just time, but it's kind of sad. Like, here's this really old historic city.
Over time, it's gonna be
not
there anymore.
Thankfully, they have like levees and systems to keep the water away, but it's like,
But also
how long
another
can you fight
takeaway
it?
that blew my mind, which you think about it, but you don't really think about it, is everything is on the water. Everything. The mail, trash pickup,
He is on a ladder on a boat.
sewage stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
that blows my mind. I don't know how they get like electrical wiring around. That blows my mind too. A really cool time.
Yeah.
Go to Venice.
if you haven't been before, definitely go.
Go experience the perfectly Instagrammable romantic getaway. It is a
It
really
was
cool
beautiful.
place. And all the people we met that live there are from Venice. We're super friendly. So peace.
Yep.
Hit subscribe. Keep following along. We have more coming.
Make sure to describe.
Make sure to describe. If you like this, please like the video, comment. It really does help us continue to do this. We really hope we're adding value.
Yeah.
We're not just doing this for kicks and giggles.
Kicks and giggles. Not like that.